What if I told you one of Africa's most exciting football teams comes from a nation so small, its entire population could barely fill a major European stadium? And what if that team was powered not just by players from its sun-drenched islands, but by talent forged in the suburbs of Rotterdam, Paris, and Lisbon? This isn't a fantasy. This is the story of Cape Verde, an island nation of fewer than 600,000 people. But they aren't alone. From the Atlas Mountains of Morocco to the Caribbean shores of Curaçao, a quiet revolution is reshaping international football. Small nations are flipping the script by recruiting a global army of players from their diaspora. This is the story of Diaspora FC. How migrant players are building powerhouse teams, the surprising business behind their success, and what it says about the future of national identity in the world's biggest sport. The 2023 Africa Cup of Nations was a statement. The Cape Verdean national team, the Blue Sharks, were seen as underdogs, but they played with a swagger that shocked the continent. They topped a group that included giants Egypt and Ghana, powered by a squad of players who learned their trade across Europe. They stormed into the knockout stages, becoming the first team to qualify for the round of 16 and battled their way to the quarterfinals before a heartbreaking penalty shootout loss to South Africa. It was a performance that put the world on notice. This wasn't a fluke. It was the result of a deliberate, long-term strategy. For years, Cape Verde simply didn't have a large enough talent pool to compete. Their domestic league is only semi-professional. So they looked outwards. Under coach Pedro Bubista Brito, the federation has perfected the art of scouting and recruiting players born or raised abroad. The squad is a perfect mosaic of this global identity. Captain Ryan Mendes, the nation's all-time leading scorer, was born in Cape Verde but honed his skills in France. Key players like Gary Rodriguez and a charismatic former Manchester United player BB have built careers in the top leagues of Turkey and Spain. The team is a tapestry of experience, from the Portuguese leagues to the Dutch Eredivisie, all united by shared heritage. Their AFCON performance proved their model wasn't just a feel-good story. It was a blueprint for how to punch far above their weight. To understand the full potential of this strategy, you have to look at the nation that perfected it on the world's biggest stage, Morocco. At the 2022 World Cup, the Atlas Lions became the first African and Arab team to ever reach the semifinals. They did it with a squad that was a masterclass in diaspora recruitment. A staggering 14 of their 26 players were born outside of Morocco. Their star player, Achraf Hakimi, was born and raised in Madrid, a product of the legendary Real Madrid Academy. Sofiane Amrabat and Hakim Ziyech were both youth internationals for the Netherlands, a footballing powerhouse. Sofiane Buffel was born in Paris. The architect of it all, coach Walid Regragui, was also born in France. He famously described his team-building process as making a milkshake, blending the best ingredients from different cultures and footballing philosophies. So why did these players, many eligible for top European nations, choose Morocco? For some, like Hakimi, it was about feeling more at home and being central to the project. For others, the decision was deeply personal. Amrabat explained, "My parents are Moroccan and my grandparents are Moroccan. Every time I go there, I can't describe the feeling. It's my home. The Netherlands is also my home, but Morocco is special." This wasn't luck. It was a targeted recruitment campaign ramped up after 2014, with the Moroccan Federation actively scouting and building relationships with young talents in diaspora communities. And it's a strategy that keeps paying off. In 2024, Brahim Diaz, a gifted attacker who had already played for Spain's senior team, officially switched his allegiance to Morocco, proving the allure of the Atlas Lions is stronger than ever. This strategy isn't unique to Africa. All across the footballing world, nations are waking up to the power of their diasporas. At that same 2022 World Cup, Senegal's celebrated squad included 9 players born in France, while Tunisia fielded 10 French-born players and Cameroon had 8. The trend is just as powerful in the CONCACAF region. Take the small island of Curaçao. With a population under 160,000, they have no business competing with regional powers like Mexico or the USA. Yet, they consistently punch above their weight. Their secret? A pipeline of talent from the Netherlands. Players like brothers Juninho and Leandro Bacuna, who have Premier League experience, form the backbone of a team almost entirely composed of players born and trained in the Dutch league system. This strategy allows them to be fiercely competitive, proving that a small nation can build a formidable team by tapping into its global family. From Algeria to Jamaica, federations are realizing that their greatest assets may not be at home, but scattered across the globe, just waiting for the call. But is this model a perfect, sustainable strategy? Or is it a shortcut that creates as many problems as it solves? The debate is fierce. On one hand, the advantages are undeniable. For a nation like Cape Verde, it provides immediate access to players trained in elite European academies, a level of technical and tactical education they could never afford to replicate at home. It propelled Morocco to a World Cup semi-final and fueled a surge of national pride that united Moroccans worldwide. The success inspires a new generation and strengthens the bond between the nation and its diaspora. However, the strategy has its critics. The most common argument is that it can stifle the development of homegrown talent. If federations can just import ready-made players from Europe, what's the incentive to invest in grassroots academies and local leagues? There's also the complex question of identity. When Hakim Ziyech chose Morocco over the Netherlands, he was publicly criticized by Dutch football legends. Players from the diaspora often face immense pressure to prove their loyalty, and there's always a risk of cliques forming between the foreign-born and local players. Morocco's previous coach, Vahid Halilhadzik, famously clashed with several diaspora stars over their perceived lack of commitment, a conflict that led to his dismissal right before the World Cup. It took a fellow diaspora member, Walid Regragui, to finally bridge that gap and forge a powerful sense of unity. The success of a diaspora team hinges on a delicate balance, harnessing global talent without losing the soul of the nation, and making sure every player, no matter where they were born, feels the same pride in wearing the shirt. Beyond the pride in politics, the rise of the Diaspora FC is also a story of smart business. This isn't just about sentiment, it's about maximizing resources. For a footballing power like Morocco, the strategy involves a sophisticated, well-funded global scouting network. The Royal Moroccan Football Federation actively identifies young players with Moroccan heritage in European academies and works for years to build relationships. This is paired with major investments in domestic infrastructure, like the world-class Mohammed VI Football Academy, creating a powerful hybrid system. For a smaller nation like Cape Verde, it's about being incredibly resourceful. Lacking the budget to build a multi-million-dollar domestic league, they leverage their diaspora as a cost-effective way to assemble a professional squad. The players arrive already developed by top European clubs, saving the federation millions in training costs. This success creates a virtuous cycle. A winning team attracts more sponsors. Star players like Achraf Hakimi, who plays for Paris Saint-Germain, raise the commercial profile of the entire nation. The passionate support from a global diaspora also translates into economic benefits, from merchandise sales to increased tourism. It's a model that shows how smaller nations can use their unique demographic footprint to compete with giants, turning a scattered population into a unified, powerful, and profitable brand. So what do you think? Is building a team from the diaspora a genius strategy for small nations, or does it undermine the idea of a national team? Is this the future of international football? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy deep dives into the culture and strategy of football, make sure to like and subscribe for more. The stories of Cape Verde, Morocco, and Curaçao are more than just underdog tales. They represent a fundamental shift in international football. In an increasingly globalized world, the concept of national identity is becoming more fluid and complex. A national team is no longer just about the 11 players born within a country's borders. It could be a symbol for a scattered people, a beacon of hope that connects a global community back to its roots. As teams continue to fight for a spot at the 2026 World Cup, we're witnessing the evolution of what a team can represent. They are proof that a nation's strength isn't limited by its geography, and that a dream can be built by a family spread all over the world. The rise of Diaspora FC is a testament to the unifying power of football, a game where no matter where you come from, home is where the heart is.